turn everything the way back how it's supposed to be. And that's what you all see taking place today. And dummies out there, do you all worship the moon? No, we don't.
Now here it comes. Listen to this carefully.
Worship the moon, dummy. Okay? The Most High command us in every month we come together and have a feast in the beginning of our months. That's what we do. Okay, and the moon does not dictate the 7th-day Sabbath.
Did you hear that? The moon does not dictate the 7th-day Sabbath. So what does? Doesn't the moon dictate the month? In the very Apocrypha, which he's going to read, it tells you that the month was named after the moon. The word month, even when you look it up in the etymology dictionary, the word month came from the moon, from the word moon. Okay? So if the moon dictates the month, the course of a month, shouldn't it dictate the course of the Sabbath? When does the Sabbath come in? The 7th day, correct? Sabbath, another word for Sabbath is 7, which equates to rest. So what would calibrate when the 7th day come in? Wouldn't it be the moon?
In this video, we're going to do a response to Elder Apostle Gabbar's video that he did here. If I can bring it up.
Let's look at the chart.
Just bear with me here. So I'm going to say all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. All right. And I think I just entitled it The New Moon Establishes the Sabbath. All right. The new moon establishes the Sabbath. Iuic. Anyway, there was a video by Elder Apostle Gabbar, all right, that he did. And it was a short video, and he had told brothers that they could do responses to his video. Now, I played a video in the opening that Apostle Gabbar basically was watching this video from Iuic. It was the new moon. Let me see. It was called New Moon, Will Trump Make America Great Again? All right. And I may just do that the title response. New Moon, Will Trump Make America Great Again? Anyway, this guy, Deacon Malachi, he said, you heard the video in the beginning. He said that the Sabbath doesn't dictate the new moon Sabbath. Now, there's a couple of things that I saw. Just bear with me here right away. Number one, Iuic has a chart that they use. And if you look at it right here, it shows at the very top, it says new/full moon. Now, as the apostles taught and told them, corrected them on it, and we know it to be true, that the new moon is not the full moon. The full moon and the new moon are not the same. On their chart, they have it as the same. Look at it at the top. New moon, full moon. So what they've done is, and they'll use the scripture saying that Esau got everything upside down. They may even say, and I didn't hear them say this, but I'm saying this is the only way you can explain it. Because I heard Deacon Malachi, they brought that scripture out, turning of things upside down. I believe anyway. I didn't watch the whole video, but I heard them say, we're going to turn things back the right way. Okay, now the moon cycles, that's a very well-known thing. And you can actually go outside and look yourself. At the beginning of every month, the new moon, when it comes in, it is the dark moon. Okay, bottom line. I can show you on a if you go to the moon phases, right? And you can do this on any moon phase calendar. Look at this. Right here. You see on the side over to your left, you see the new moon is a dark moon, right? And then you see what going to your right, waxing crescent. When something waxes, it increases, right? It's waxing, then it becomes a half moon. Then it's a waxing gibbous. Then you got the full moon. Then it starts to decrease, waning. Waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent. And then what? You got the the new moon again. That's a whole nother month. See, a month goes through phases. And as the Elder Apostle Gabbar was talking about, and we can bring out now, the moon is the sign. Well, let's read it. Let's read it, Salakia, not right here. Let's do it over here. And I also got another short video I want to play. that I did a little bit of research. So let's go real quick to Ecclesiasticus 43 and verse 6. It says, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times, a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. You see that? It says, verse 8 says, the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. Okay. Now before we go on, let's get the Good News translation of that. Isaiah 43 and verse 6 from the Good News translation, it says, there is also the moon, marking the passage of time, an eternal sign of the changing seasons. The moon determines the holy days. Its light grows full and then grows dim, right? Its light grows full, then grows dim. So it has to grow before it comes a full moon. And then what does it do? It waxes to the full moon, then it wanes as it decreases. The month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. How does it grow fuller each night? It starts out as a dark moon, it grows into a crescent, then it waxes to, to those quarters, then it gets to the full. A signal light for the heavenly armies shining out in the dome of the sky. Don't get messed up over because it says the dome of the sky. Same thing it said over here. So the month is called after the moon, right? And we know that the moon the new moon is the first day of the month, and it establishes the Sabbath for the rest of the month. And I mean, it's real easy, but guys make it hard. They trying to make like Esau got that part wrong. When you can go outside yourself, and at the beginning of the month, when the new moon comes, it's a dark moon. You don't start your month, on the damn full moon. You can't find it on the script on the calendar, right? Even if if you throw Esau's calendar out, let's say you just doing it according to you go outside yourself, you won't see that any place where a month starts on a damn full moon. It's just not there. Now I got a quick video here we can go to if I can find it. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, it'll be here. So this is a new video that I found. Something quick. It says moon phase cycle, names, order, and appearance. Not that. Right here in this little video. Let's check it out. Moon phases, names, and moon phases in order. Check this out.
When I was a little kid, I'd stare in awe at the moon, but I never knew why it changed shape or what all the different shapes were called. Another lesson would have outlined for you how it is that the Earth, Sun, and the motions of the Moon combine to form the different lunar phases. In a very brief synopsis of that lesson, you need to know that the phase of the Moon that appears on our sky depends on how big of a fraction of the side of the Moon that we see is lit up by sunlight. Nevertheless, this lesson will be more about the names of the phases of the Moon rather than the motions of the celestial bodies involved in their creation. From the invisible new moon to the beautiful crescent to the full moon and more. Stick around to learn more about this. The phase of the moon where we cannot see the moon in the sky unless there's a solar eclipse is known as the new moon. This means that the half of the moon that is illuminated by the sun is the far side of the moon, the side of the moon we never get to see. The reason we normally see the moon in the sky is because sunlight is reflected back to us from its surface, as if from a mirror. But if the half of the moon we do get to see is in complete darkness, logically we're not going to see much. Because
I hope you heard that. Let's see if there's more.
Because the new moon is near the sun at the point of the new moon, it will rise around sunrise and set around sunset. It's as if the moon and sun are holding hands. As the moon continues its orbit around the earth in a counterclockwise fashion, more and more of the side that we see is illuminated by the sun.
And that's good enough. The key was that he told you that when the moon is dark, that's the new moon. And we know that to be true. You know that to be so. All right. So when you look here, so IUIC, they moon phase thing is off. Now somebody gonna say, well, y'all going according to what Esau say. Well, look at this. This matches what's in the scriptures. because the new moon is the first day of the month, and it's a dark moon, because we read it in the scriptures. Let's go back. Let's read it again if we have to. For some, one of Apostle Gabbar's words, for some dullards out there, let's go back and read it again. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus 43:6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times. See, and for a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast. Now, Deacon Malachi said they have a new moon feast, right? A light that decreaseth in her perfection. Now, if you IUIC will take this right here to mean that the light decreases in her perfection, right? They think that means you start out with a full moon, then it decreases on back down to a dark moon. No, that's not the order that it goes in. It starts out with the dark moon. It says the month is called after her name. You name the month, you get the word month from the word moon. What does it say? Increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. And if you can see it easier when you read the translation. Look at this. Ecclesiastes 43:6. There is also the moon, marking the passage of time, an eternal sign of the changing seasons. The moon determines the holy days. Its light grows full. What? Its light grows full and then grows dim. The month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. What? The month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. A signal light for the heavenly armies shining out in the dome of the sky. So the moon grows fuller each night. Okay, it starts out as the dark moon. Where we at? Let me find it. Now this is IUIC's. This is their moon phase thing. And according to theirs, the new moon and the full moon is the same thing. And that's just not true. And it's because once it's full, it starts to wax. It starts to wane, growing dim. That's the opposite. It starts out, see, they got at the bottom, decreaseth. No, they're doing that because of the scripture. They're manipulating. That ain't what the scriptures even said. The month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. It grows fuller each night. So it starts out as a dark moon, and then it progresses into a full moon. You see that? That's what it is. And then by the time it gets to, the new moon again, then it's dark again. Salakia, I'm trying to get my ducks in a row here. So let's get back over here. Yeah, so we can leave off from that scripture. I want to go to back to the moon phases just to show you that. And you can even look on another one. What's this one say? Over here to the right, far moon, right? Waxing crescent, first quarter, waxing gibbous, then the full moon. See? Then the waning gibbous, third quarter, waning crescent. See that? So it's going back to the new moon. It starts all over again. And that starts a whole nother month. Now we know that the full moon is the beginning of the month. Let me just find my right place here. Salakia. Let's just close this all together. Now, I want to read you an account from 1 Samuel, right? In chapter 20. I'm going to go to verse 5. It says, and David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even. See that? This showing you that the new moon is the first day of the month. Right? Why are they talking about the third day? If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that I might run to Bethlehem, his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for my family, there for all the family. Anyway, the point we wanted to get out of that was the new moon and the third day. Now this is verse 12. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord, power of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time or the third day, and behold, there be good toward David, and I sin, and I then sin not unto thee, and show it thee. The Lord do so and much more to Jonathan. But if it please my father to do thee evil, Then I will show it thee, and send thee away, that thou mayest go in peace, and the Lord be with thee, as he have been with my father. And anyway, it's just like a plan they came up with. You got to read the story to get, to understand what's going on. I'm just trying to jump around. Now, verse 18, then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. So they talking about the new moon, right? A little more here. 1 Samuel 20:27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month. You know what? Let's go back up a little bit. Verse 24. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon his seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean, showing you that it was a Sabbath. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month. So the first day of the month was the new moon, right? The new moon was the first day. This is the day after. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse, neither yesterday nor today? Yesterday being the new moon, the first day, this day being the second day. And that proves that the new moon is the first day of the month. And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. So, that's good enough. You should be able to see through that. Now, I know that's a little bit difficult, but you should be able to see through that the new moon is the first day, and after that, you're going to do what? You're going to count, right? You're going to go through your weekly cycle, and then the same day the next week, right, which should be the 8th day, that's going to be the Sabbath all over again, which is the same damn thing. It's the same thing, man, right? It'll be the same day. Like this week, if Sunday was the new moon, right, we would say we would count 7 days after that, and then the next day, or the 8th day, we would arrive where again? On Sunday again, the same day. So the new moon does establish the Sabbath. I was going to read Psalms 81, but ain't no point in really reading it. Psalms 81, verse 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, the time appointed on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and the law of the God of Jacob. All right. So Lord willing, it wasn't too long. Just try to get in and out with all these, scriptures and different proofs that we show. But that scripture, the translation, the Good News translation of Ecclesiastes 43:7 shows you plainly, or verse 8, it says, the month is named after the moon, marvelous to watch as it grows fuller each night. See that? So that it's impossible that the new moon could be the full moon, but it's growing fuller each night. Bottom line. So that's it. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.